Okay, so hashtag wow, hashtag now, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the I'm gonna say impossible. I'm gonna do something very difficult. When I was in Canada, missed it already. There's something I did watch on television there. Had a 999 stations, but a lot of stuff kind of repeated, so I don't know how many stations I actually had. But at any rate, I watched Ghostbusters 2016 or Lady Ghostbusters or whatever you want to call it. Now, a lot of people give a laundry list why I didn't like it. Now, it's kind of appropriate I watched it today, not today, but when I was in Canada, because it's 2026. So basically, the 10-year anniversary. So I finally watched it. And like I said, I'm going to do something difficult. Instead of giving me a laundry list of what I could have done, or what I got wrong, I'm actually going to say what it actually did right. Is it the worst film ever? No. However, I will say this. It actually has something going for it. Now, what did they do right? Alright, well, let's get started. First of all, like I said, it's saying something nice about the film. It's not the worst film I ever seen. Believe me, I've seen worse. I've seen like Alice, Tim Burton's the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, and I felt that was way worse. I can't even watch. I watched it on the tablets. No, it was awful. I can barely watch the whole thing. I imagine watch the whole Ghostbusters 2016, so it can't be all bad. But what did it do right? Well, it entertained me, so let's get started with that. Was it entertaining? Yes. Is it entertaining as the original? No. But then again, what do you expect? It's the original versus... It's the original... They got it right. So, right off the bat, you're not gonna do things well. You're gonna have an uphill battle to go with. Something like The Crazies, for example. I felt that was a movie that got it wrong the first time, because I have no idea what that movie was about. So when they did and the remake, it did a better job. So already, but anyway, getting back to what I did right. The characters. Surprisingly enough, the characters actually had an actual personality. At least 3 out of the 4 of them did. I felt that one of the characters, which by the way was taken out of content. Like, I don't remember the characters' names. I don't really want to matter. One of the characters, like I said, the one you saw being slimed in the movie. Surprisingly enough, she actually watched the movie. She actually took it a lot well. For some reason, when you watch it acting crazy, she actually took it very well. But they made it look like crazy from the trailer. But at any rate, but I thought she had an interesting concept to her. Her and the other friend. As she pointed out in the movie, she said that she, even though she didn't like any of those people, she knew how to play the system. She knew how to talk to people, and she was on her way to make it a 10-year. The other person believes not to suck up on that person, the person she worked with. And she believed that one day her passion would work out. At any rate, so anyway, that's kind of an interesting concept. Should you hit your head down low, you play the system, or should you just be honest and say, hey, I know it looks bad now, but I will get you, but something will come out of it. So it's good again, it's the 2 concepts of how to approach life. Stick to your guns, or pretend you're going along with everyone else. As for the city worker, whenever she was I thought she had an interesting story with her. I wish I could explore more why she was a history buff. But she was a history buff, because one of the things I thought was interesting, 3 of the characters, I don't like... Okay, I'm not going to say anything, I just said I'm only going to say nice things about this movie, so all I'm going to say is I didn't care for their version of Eguy, except for I don't know. I like her design. I like her costume. I like to look like they're trying to go with the dark brown or more like the cartoon version where Egon for some reason had blonde hair in the cartoon, but he had black hair in the movie. So go figure that one out. So I like her design, but that's all I can say because I'm gonna try to say only nice. All I'm gonna say is only nice things. So, anyways, with a subway worker, I thought it was interesting because she was intelligent, but not the same way like the other characters. Like she wasn't a scientist, but she was a historian. I kind of wish they explored more on that one. So, anyways, the point is she did add a lot to the story, of saying that okay, well, we're in this area. Here's the history of the place. When you think about it, hunting ghosts, yeah, you wouldn't need to know the history of the place. How these people died, what happened here. Again, see the idea of why is this place haunted. So yes, I do like the idea that it shows different levels of intelligence. There are different types of intelligence. It's not just everybody's, it's one thing and that's how things are created. What's another thing I liked about this? Surprisingly enough, despite the jokes have to over-explain themselves, this one doesn't feel, it actually has faith in the audience. For example, she talks about, one breath, she explains to her why her career was ruined. In this case, she says that all this sucking up, and for what? So I could lose my tenure because of one video. And that was it. That was the whole explanation. And I do like the idea. They actually don't over-explain things. They over-explain jokes, but they don't explain this. So I thought that was kind of an interesting concept. So I do like the idea. They don't always over-explain things. In fact, one time they don't even use words. One of it was, what was it? Sorry for the spoilers, but it's a 10-year-old movie. One of the things, they had the main villain of the story. It looked like towards the end that he killed himself. Sorry, unalived himself. Unalived himself. And you think, oh, it's over with. Then you realize one of the characters looked over his notebooks. And it's done very well. I like his notebooks look well because it becomes crazier and crazier the more you get into it. Like he goes more and more details showing that this guy is getting smarter and smarter. And it actually shows the last part of him showing that his plan was all along to unalive himself. And guess what? They never said it. They just showed it. So yeah, the movie's actually capable of show, don't tell. Or giving enough when to give exposition and when to halt the show explanation. So ironically, this movie actually knows when to talk and when to shut up. So again, I'll give it that. It does know how to. It does it capable of telling a story with less words. So what else could I say nice about this movie? The main villain. The main villain is actually kind of interesting. The main villain actually isn't very selfish. Usually with villains, it's always, I come up with this master plan, but it's only for me. No, this plan actually knew what it was like to be treated like a nobody. And he knows how it felt, so actually his plan wasn't just for him. It was for all those people that actually was mistreated. And he even points this out, say, see all these ghosts behind this ghost barrier? They were mistreated too. And I'm going to help them. So he didn't do it just for himself. He actually did it for others. So again, that's an interesting thing. It's like, wow, you're actually doing a jerky thing, but without actually being an actual jerk. He actually wanted to help those that actually were like him. People were cast aside. People who thought there were nobodies. So I actually have respect for this guy. He's like, all right, that's actually unselfish of you. Let's see, what else? I was trying to come up with some positive things about this movie. And actually, don't get me wrong, it's still a terrible movie, but honestly, it could have been better. And that's the sad thing about this. Could it be as good as the original? No, it's the original. Rarely get something that's just as good or even better than the original. As for the jokes, yeah, they weren't very funny. What else? I'm going to go with the acting. A lot of people say, "Why the characters are terrible?" Yeah, no, the characters written terrible. But acting wise, I don't felt like nobody was phoning in. And according to the critical drinker, like he makes a point, nobody wanted to be there. And I felt like the acting, I felt like they at least tried to put their A game, especially Kevin. Kevin's supposed to be the dumb one. Is he, again, why is he here? I mean, did you know the term sexy lamp? The term sexy lamp, if you take the character away and place it with a sexy lamp, and if the story is exactly the same, then you have a bad character. Well, unfortunately, everybody here is a sexy lamp, so I guess I could just knock this on Kevin. But Kevin, again, you can tell he's really trying. In fact, I heard he was the funniest one of the whole story, and he wasn't even a comedian, so I don't know. Not prop to the character, but I guess I gave props that the actor did a pretty good job not being a comedian. Somehow got the most laughs, so it's not really much of a compliment in this movie. Is there anything else? Because there's one more thing I could say positive about this movie. The proton packs. Yeah, okay, the proton packs were definitely displayed better in the 80s version of Ghostbusters. But I thought it was something interesting as you saw the evolution of the Ghostbuster pack. Like you saw them carrying around in a cart, shopping cart, and then they tried to modify it so it actually goes on their back. And I thought that was interesting watching the equipment evolve as they evolve. And it looked like this is supposed to be an origin story, like a prequel. Like if you take the 80s Ghostbusters and what have made it a two-parter, showing the Ghostbusters evolving, coming their own, and then Val Zool, or whatever his name is, or Gozer, or and I think that's what the next episode, Ghostbusters, Lady Ghostbusters 2, was supposed to be. They finally, at the end of the movie, it says one girl looks for. They finally got their firehouse because this version didn't get the firehouse, but they finally got the firehouse, and one goes, "Who's Zool?" And I think they're going to actually go fight Zool in the second one. So I think this is more focusing on the origin story and then move on. So whatever you consider that a positive thing or not, I guess it's up to you. So there it is. Oh, there it is. My evolution. If I had to say anything positive about the movie, there we go. It could have been good, but it wasn't. So what are your thoughts? Did you like the movie? Do you felt it, or do you hated the movie? Can you say anything positive about this movie? Like, was it more of the movie was terrible, but it could have been better, or you think the movie was just no, the movie's just terrible. There's nothing good about it. Again, leave a comment below. I like to think the 86 subscribers that stuck around. Let's get it to 2,000 subscribers so I can finally get paid to do stuff like this. And as always, hope today sucks a little less. And what could I say? I ain't afraid of no ghosts.